Alright, yeah, my teachers always told me I'd never amount to nothing, and they may have been right. That's why I jump on the mic every night. 'Cause when I jump on the mic, that's how I know that I'ma be alright. Well, I'ma be alright.
Welcome back, everyone. Here I am sitting with the Fidget King, Matty Bissett. Matty, welcome back as always.
Hello, Miles. Hello, everyone.
Try something different this episode. We're going to jump straight into common challenging situations that have occurred in the classroom and how we deal with it. So common challenging situations in the classroom and how we deal with it. Matthew, are you ready?
Fire away, Miles. Fire
So
away.
our first category is working with students in behaviour, engagement and learning. So common challenging situation, number one, low-level disruption from one student across the entire class. Low-level disruption with one student across the entire class.
So what I would do as a teacher? So at one, it depends on the actual student. So if you know that that student is one of the ones that you ignore, their behaviour will escalate, deal with it straight away. Give them a nice correction straight away, redirect them to the task.
Yep.
Don't shame them, don't say anything, just say, okay, all right, Miles, back to work.
Yep.
What do you need? Start with question one, I'll come over and help you with question two.
Yep.
If there's someone that you know is just a little bit of a class clown, just ignore it. Focus on the people around them, and most of the time that student will go, I'm not getting the attention that I want. I'll do the work to get the attention the other kids are getting.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a battle of patience, and the plan ignores a big one, and you hope it fizzles out. I definitely agree with that. I think for me, it's whatever your behaviour, your class behaviour system is as well. So if you've got, like I work strikes on the board. Obviously, Johnny, you're misbehaving again, so strike on the board, but then try to find them a couple minutes later doing the right thing so you can take that strike off. Now, it might be they commit to it and just, they're having a bad day or not wanting to be in class and they get the 3 strikes. You got to have a process there. So if you get them out of the class, buddy room, get your head of department involved, student services, whatever, there needs to be a consequence there. Good start, Matthew. I like it. Common situation number 2, students arriving late to class consistently. Students arriving late to class consistently. So let's say more than 10 minutes into the lesson.
Are we talking primary school or high school?
You can do both.
Because in primary school, lower primary, most of the time they're late, it's parents. And so you can't really blame the child because they have to get there by their parents.
So it's upper primary's excuse?
Depends on if the parents drop them to school or if they're independent enough to walk to school.
Right.
So if they are always late and they walk to school, primary school, and they're on their own, encourage them with some type of reward system if they get to school on time. Yeah, so I don't know. If you get to school on time today, I'll let you go out 5 minutes earlier for lunch. Have
a reward baked into it.
Something like it, but easy, not a monetary one, not you come for 5 days in a row, you get a
canteen voucher.
Yeah, it's too long.
Right.
These kids, the kids who are always disengaged, they need quick response, they need quick rewards. So any day they get to school on time, class on time, reward them that day, that session, if they're in high school, that. Or if they're in high school, figure out why they come late. What is it?
Sorry, my back's about to spasm teams. That's why I'm moving around in the chair. I agree as well. So high school, if they're more than 10 minutes in the consistency, more than 10 minutes late to the classroom, you got to be holding them back and so if your period backs onto a recess or lunch, obviously hold them back then. Common thing in high school, especially for new teachers at harder to staff schools, is the students don't hang around anyway and they'll bolt as soon as the bell goes, so then you got to get someone else involved. So me being a head department, I'll then go follow that up. And then the consequences in my eyes, that doubles as well. Okay, well, it was 1, so you stay back for the coming late to class, and now 2, it's been the defiant or disruptive behaviour and not hanging around, and then keeping my staff accountable by making sure they're phoning home to parents and communicating what's going on. I think where the I don't know, lack of a better term, weak link can be is this: people don't teach a student, head of department aren't kept accountable. So just
absolutely.
One person doing something or all of it, then it sort of falls apart. Let's look at next situation. Students challenging authority publicly. Students challenging authority publicly. So what does that look like? So shouting out?
Well, it depends, again.
Yeah.
Because the majority of the time, the kids in high school challenge authority is one, they love power struggle.
They do love power struggle. They do.
And they know that they're always going to win because teachers will always bite.
Yeah, actually, let's change it up then. Let's go how to deal with the power struggle.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, again, when they're little, power struggles are going to be a bit different than when they're bigger.
Yeah.
So if you look at a high school power struggle, it's always, well, not always, that's a big term, but most of the time, it's a power struggle because the work is just way too hard, or they're not in the mood to do the work and they want to leave. So you mentioned strikes on the board. Kids who don't want to do your work, they will figure out your system.
We get struck out quickly.
And they will go argue.
Yeah.
Boom, 3 strikes out. They don't want to be there anyway.
Yeah.
So what you can do is, instead of that power struggle, instead of engaging in it, take a step back. Don't engage in it.
Yeah.
Don't give them what they want, because then they clearly win.
Yeah.
Or you just say, look, you know what? I can see that you're not happy today. You don't want to do this work. You know what? Let me teach the class. If you sit down, we'll come up and we'll figure something out that you can do on your own. And you just negate that struggle because, one, they get what they want when they want a power struggle because they don't want to do work.
Yeah.
2, they get peer attention. They get all the kids looking at them. They're like, oh, what's he going to say this time? And that peer attention is so powerful.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you need to sort of like negate it to start with.
Yeah.
Or if you can't negate it, don't bite in. Just let it go. Follow your process. And then change of face, someone else comes in, head of department comes in, deals with it, you teach.
I agree with that. I think you don't want to add fuel to the fire, but it's a tricky one. It's a delicate one as well, because then you have, and especially you have those heavy hitters in the room that if they, if the power struggle does kick off and then you do commit to it, and then that's obviously not good for anyone. But then
it burns the teacher in.
But then the ignoring it as well, it sets them up for dominance as well. So it's very delicate. So I think you're right. So stay consistent, and have support around you, and then whatever your consequences are. The best way to do it is to win the student over, but that's going to take time, and that's going to come from trust But part of that trust, I think, is built from having consistent consequences, but making sure that the consequence refers to the behaviour, not the actual student.
Yeah, always. And it's always going to be tricky because what works one day to diffuse that power struggle won't work the next.
Yep.
Because there's a power struggle for a different reason. So it's always challenging.
And we'll do the last one under behaviour, engagement and learning. What about lack of resilience when work becomes difficult? Which is like, sir, I can't do this. I'm not trying. Sometimes it's just a laugh. Sometimes it's a little bit more and, head down, F this, F that. This is too hard.
So what I would do in those situations is literally, sir, it's too hard. All right, cool. Miles, what question is it? Oh, it's question 7. Cool. All right, I'm going to do it on the board. Anyone who's struggling with question 7, we'll all do it together. And then you just work through your steps, like if it's HAS, explain out a bit, maybe a bit more, chunk it a bit more. If it's science, knock it back to just the, same as math, just the
fundamentals,
what you actually need, take out all the jargon, and then just do that. And if they're like, oh, I can't do question 8, cool, let's do question 8.
Yeah.
Do you know what, class? Everyone will all do question 8 together.
Yeah.
Just
meet
them where they're at.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the key to it. And then just acknowledging small wins as well. So if they do pick up a pencil again, and at least attempt it, at least you're sort of building up that resilience. Even it might just be a specific behaviour, a specific subject, but at least you're building up the behaviour as well.
And it might just be writing. So if you let them speak the answer, then you write the answer on the board, they can copy it, but they're the ones giving you the answer. Writing's a real big one for kids at the moment.
Yep.
A lot of kids, it makes a lot of kids work anxious.
Yep.
The writing is.
Speaking of anxious, this next topic makes me a little bit anxious. So working with colleagues now.
Just work on your own, it's way easier.
Common challenging situations, working with colleagues. All right. You ever share a classroom with a colleague?
Well, in pre-primary, you are obviously on a dot day.
Yes.
So I had the kids for 4 days,
Yep.
and then my dot teacher would, well, not my dot teacher, the dot teacher
Yeah.
would have them for a day.
Okay.
So yes, sharing,
Yeah.
but the dot teacher would do
Are
the content.
you a tidy person?
Yes and no.
You can't do yes and no, Matthew. You got to choose one.
So classroom, yes. My desk, no.
Okay, so why is that? So it keeps the children organised and helps the learning environment?
Yeah. So classroom needs to be clean, organised, ready to go.
Yep.
My desk, on the other hand,
Yep. Your teacher's desk or your desk in the office? Your teacher's desk?
teacher's desk. Well,
Yeah.
in pre-primary, you're in the room.
In the room, right.
So it had all the kids' work on it that they'd give me. I'd sort through, I'd read letters, but
Yep.
I would put all that stuff to the side and do it at recess, at lunch.
Yep.
Not when the kids are
Yeah.
learning. That's
Yeah.
what I'm doing. I'm with the kids.
Yeah. So say you do have to share your room in that situation and someone comes in and it's just another teacher's in there for a day or a couple of lessons and they're the opposite, so they're untidy. What's the approach there? I'll go. I got a story. So I'm very obsessive with tidiness and structure, just because I see it in my life. But I remember it's the school I'm at now. There's two. I was being the head department with 4 maths rooms, and I had 5 staff. So I said, look, I'm new one in. I'll just rotate around. So 2 of my rooms were with 2 of the experienced staff. One had been in the same room for 30 years. The other one had been in the room opposite the whole. Other one opposite the whole 25 years. So I walk in, and you want to be respectful of places and stuff. And I remember walking into these rooms, and I'd open drawers. I'd put stuff down on the teacher's desk and lose it. Like, it was crazy. But these old fellas, who were lovely guys and good teachers, but just that they knew where everything in their room was and when their desk was. I'm like, how do you know where that? Like, and I'd say, have you got these test marks? And I'd be in the room, and it'd be like 5 piles deep under another 4 piles, and you're like, this is crazy. But I've over the time, I've now taken ownership of one room because I think it's. Yeah, I can be particular about stuff, but I think you're right. I think the classroom's important to set up the learning environment for the students. And if they see a structured, organised place, it helps their uncertainty calm down as well.
And we are also in a profession.
Yeah.
We're professionals.
Yeah.
Our classroom,
Yeah.
our workspace should look professional.
Yep. Have you, so how...
Don't look at my desk though, but the classroom itself, where the kids are, is very professional.
Well, this is my thing. So then again, like if it's yeah, exactly. Now in the office, so the office is a bit different as well. I think I see it as you've got defined spots in the office. What happens between those boundaries is on you as a person. I'm not going to comment on it. That's nothing to do with me. But if I'm sitting next to you and that goes into my boundary, then I've got right to say something. Yeah, and you hear stories about all the pettiness and stuff, which can be hilarious at times. Well, I think it's a conversation. Or just to go, this is out of control right now.
Or just move your desk a little bit so all their stuff falls off.
Well, especially like
Be real petty.
It's funny how different schools, like the spacing works out. Some schools I've worked at, departments have massive space. Like we're in this tiny space, which is fine, but there's no space. Yeah. You're sitting there going, don't come on my side because there's no space to be given right now.
No, I think that you just need to be respectful.
Yeah.
So, your room doesn't need to be as clean as a operating theatre, but it needs, if you're a classroom, it needs to be tidy. Kids need to know where everything is if they can't find anything.
Yeah.
It needs to have structure in your classroom environment.
Yeah.
And your office space.
Yeah.
It's a shared space.
Yep.
Be polite.
How about this one? Have you ever experienced? So these days I'm at school 8 o'clock and I'm gone by 3 p.m. with the idea of just when I'm at school getting everything done. Have you ever been judged for your boundaries around leaving on time or anything like that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All the time.
How do you feel about it?
When I first started teaching, I was like, oh man, all these people are staying behind now. I'm like, see ya.
Because you know you've got everything done, or you know that the job's going to be there tomorrow anyway?
I know I've done as much as I can during the day.
Yeah.
Job's still going to be there tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I've got kids. I've got a life.
Yeah.
To be a better parent,
I
need to work less at home. To be a better teacher, I need to use my time more efficient at work.
Yes.
So that's where I'm at the moment. I'm not doing any work at home, which is a bit of a learning curve for me, and I'm a bit behind in a lot of things. But I'm now trying to restructure my work day so I can get all of that done.
Yeah.
It just takes time because you've got to build new habits and break old routines and things. But it's made my time at work more, not enjoyable. Well, maybe enjoy. I don't know what the word is, but
more productive.
Definitely more productive. But it's made my home life more relaxed because I'm not trying to clean the house, do bath time, parent, do all that stuff, and then try to get all this work done before I go to bed.
Yeah,
it's burnout and waiting to happen.
I think.
But you get judged all the time.
I think
you just got to suck it up.
Last car in the staff car park. I think that's the sort of thing. Being that I'm here the longest, therefore I'm working the hardest. But again, that's not a thing. That's definitely not a thing. And I think
definitely not with AI now.
But it's
these are the improve your workflow.
And it still happens. It still happens, and you're like, well, that's. And I don't read much. As soon as I leave, I don't check emails and stuff. And I'm very. People can send emails, but I'm not replying to them until I'm at school the next day.
Yep.
But most people, if you're professional, I'm not boasting about leaving early either or leaving on time either. But if someone were to say something to me, which I have in the past, jokingly, I can be quite assertive with it and go, well, I'm pretty. But I think I'm pretty effective at school. Yeah. I think your reputation's whatever, but it's just Now
there are some aspects of our job that you have to do outside of work. Mm-hmm. You got to pair. I look at it. I will read all the emails I'm sent outside of school hours. I do not respond to any of them. And I only read them because in the job that I'm currently in, sometimes I do need to read them because if I'm going to a school the next day, there might be students away or whatever.
Yeah.
But I will not respond until the following day, unless it's urgent and I have to respond.
Yep.
Then I'll respond. But that's maybe once a week if I'm lucky these days.
We'll do one more on this and with colleagues. What about this one? Collaboration that becomes superficial rather than meaningful. So I guess we look at you are all year 7 teachers, English, HAS, whatever, there's problems in the year 7 group, get together and talk about stuff in your dot time. Or we're going to do all these different committees. I want you to sign up and then once a term you got to get together. Now, are you getting together for actually a bigger meaning or are you just getting together just to sit and... Shinwag, talk about negativity, nothing gets done. I can find that difficult. And I've been last 4 or 5 years, I've made a point of it. Anything that, unproductive meetings, I don't attend anymore. Yep. Now that can be, and again, that's not just denying everything. And have worked at the school for a bit. So people, again, you have a reputation, people understand you. But I think you can get caught up in just meeting for meetings. When you've got no time in the day, and especially high school, you get 1 dot period a day. If you're giving that up to go to a meeting somewhere, you're not marking, you're not planning for your next lesson, you're not following up.
Your time's not being used efficiently.
Parents on behaviour,
I'm the same. I think that collaboration is very, very, very important. And if you look at a primary school setting, if you can collaboratively plan, so let's just say I do maths for 5 weeks, and then the other teacher that the other year teacher in the classroom next to me, they do English for 5 weeks. Yeah. Then we swap and we do one subject each, or to reduce the workload. But if we're meeting and you just start whinging and carrying on, what? I'm out. I've got other stuff to do. But I am the same as you. I'll just get up and leave.
Yeah.
I'm not I don't have time.
But that's it. I think that's an experienced teacher move as well.
Don't waste my time.
And you can see younger people in the profession find that hard at times. And I'm sure I was held hostage as well. And I think, and again, most people setting meetings are good natured, but they're not in classroom necessarily teaching.
And which
realising the lack of time.
Obviously, the running joke is always, that could have been an email. So I point out the fact in a meeting that when it could actually be an email. Because admin, they've got no time either, but they're the ones having all these meetings. Yeah. So just send the email, make sure we read it by asking us, I don't know, whatever. Give a little thumbs up as a return, and then hold us accountable for the email.
We can do those red receipts.
Yeah.
Which I think is,
so just do that. Save so much time because in a meeting, you sit around, you get your agenda. How often do you stick to your agenda?
And you need strong people either chairing those meetings because otherwise you get the same people getting up
saying the same crap all the time.
And then
nothing ever changes.
And the common response from the people running the meetings, we'll look into it, and nothing ever gets looked into.
Yeah. So just send an email, click your read receipt, hold everyone accountable for that email. So if they don't do what's in the email, they haven't read it. Boom, done. Move on.
Look at us changing lives, Matthew. All right, let's move on to whole school systems now.
Oh,
Common challenging situations in school systems. So let's have a look at what about pressure to improve data without sufficient support? Now, again, this is no particular school, but pressure to improve data without sufficient support. Now, again, like math is a big one for standardized testing. You have NAPLAN, you have OLNA, and then you got ATAR exams. So there's a lot of data there. And it can feel at different schools I've worked at, like NAPLAN can be a big focus, ATAR, or sometimes ATAR can be a big focus. I think as my position as the head of math, as long as you're showing, you're reflecting on the data and showing ways to improve that make sense, I think that's the big key.
I'm all for data, but it needs to be purposeful data. What are you doing with it? Like if I'm giving a test, so I'm thinking about some of the schools that I have worked in and dealt with.
Yep.
Year 5, Year 6 teachers, they do a test every 2 weeks on content. But nothing, if you fail the test or you don't get a good score, they just move on anyway. So what are they doing with that data? Why are they putting these kids through so many tests? Clearly, their classroom structure is not working. If you've got to do a test every 2 weeks to make sure you remember something, But at the same time, if you do a test, get the data and move in the direction that the data says that the classroom needs. Like use it. Don't just do it for the sake of doing it. Because that's what we were taught. We were taught to do tests all the time.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. What about, I saw it before,
lack of support for high needs students is a good one.
Well, and you've worked with special learning programs before.
I have.
The school I'm at the moment has taken on SLP programs a lot, and it's a good idea and stuff. But we're also going through a massive teaching shortage right now in Western Australia or Australia-wide, and a massive education assistant shortage as well. So it's hard. You've got students in mainstream classrooms, so to speak, with high needs, and you've got one teacher. And it can feel like the teachers, most of the time teachers want to do best by students, but there's got to be a limit as well. You're trying to teach all these in a, general mixed ability class, teaching all these different year levels. Teaching all these students at different level abilities, behaviour issues, high learning needs. I think that, if you're at a higher level in a school, you need to be careful just overloading teachers as well. Yeah,
I think about it on average. What do you think? In every classroom, there'd be one kid who potentially needs an EA at least 60% of the day.
And say you work off 30 on the list, 20 students coming consistently.
So the sheer amount of kids that need additional help versus the number of people that admin can supply. Now, I'm not blaming admin for this. This is a department-wide thing where there's no money. So these are problems that you need money to solve. Now, not money as in, to buy cool iPads and stuff. This is a resourcing thing. You need to get good humans to help humans become nice humans. So you can buy all the programs in the world, but who's going to run them? Who's going to deliver them to the kids that need them? So, with your SLPs and things, they're amazing, but you need to have the right person running them. And admin sometimes just say, who would like to do it? Because they're not going to force someone to do it. EAs, they're depending on how the teacher, allocates their time, they get overworked to the point of exhaustion.
Absolutely.
And no one really offers the EA support because where's that come from? There's no one to tag in, there's no one to change, because the other EA that could work with that student's currently working with that student who's up a tree because, whatever reason.
Yeah, sure.
It's really, really, really hard.
You just get spread too thin everywhere, don't you?
Way too thin. But then you can't clump all these behaviour kids together because you'll have the teacher leave and nothing will get achieved.
It just becomes bodies in front of the classroom, teaching-wise. All right, let's look at the time, my man. We're running a little bit over. We'll do one more. So next or final topic, the profession. So the big picture challenges.
Big picture.
We'll do a couple here, and then we'll call it. So let's look at early career teachers leaving the profession. Early career teachers leaving the profession. Is it just the I mean, especially in Western Australia, there's plenty of other jobs out there, especially in mining and stuff. Now, not saying they're going into that, but I think that's got part to do with it. Teaching is getting more complex these days. It's getting more stressful. Or the flip side is that early career teachers, did we go through the same thing when we were early career teachers? But maybe we had, like, I had a good head of department that kept me in the job. You know, I mean, I think it's still very hit and miss for graduates with the support systems they get with certain schools.
The support it's there if they want to use it, I guess. So yeah, you have your grad coordinators in schools and things. But I think the main thing is the sheer workload that teachers have to do. So at uni, they paint this amazing picture of what teaching's going to be like. And you get to the school, you're like, uni didn't teach me this. This is a bit different. So you go from at uni, you know, you get your lecturer to read over things, and then you go to being a teacher. You've got to do it all yourself, and the sheer amount of planning, all of the exhaustion from trying to manage a classroom emotionally is exhausting. And then you look at what do grads get now? Like 87 grand first year out. It's a good amount of money, more than we got.
Yeah, so my first going to the country, so I got an extra 10 grand going to the country, so I was on 60 grand a year. Yeah,
but there's other jobs that you get paid roughly the same, maybe a bit less, for doing 9 to 5. You don't work at home. You don't do any work on the weekend.
Well, the emotional pressures and stuff you get in teaching.
Yeah, and also you get people who get into teaching. I know a whole bunch of guys that got into teaching, had kids, and they're like, my wife's not at work anymore. She's going to look after the kids, so I'm going to go and get a higher paying job. And they went back to accounting, or they went to the mines and did FIFO week on, week off. That it works better for having a young family because they get more money, and the support was on 1 week, mum was with Bob, and the following week, mum and dad were with Bob. So there's a bunch of different factors, and the cost of living is nuts. So when we were grads, having all that money was wicked because nothing, like a coffee didn't cost $7.50; it was $2. So like I feel that's why, to retain the younger staff, the fresh out grads, they need to have more, not so much pay incentives, but they need to have a better type of retaining system. So maybe 1 week during the term they get off. They can have a planning week or a deload week or something, and then school just gets a relief teacher in for a week. Who knows? I don't know what the problem.
Well, something. I think you're right. Something outside of money.
It's not. It's more money would be great, but more money doesn't solve working
the
15 hours a day.
And then under those, classrooms can be pressure cooker situations.
Yeah. So if you can have a system where, I don't know, 1 week during the term you get to, I don't know, leave early at lunchtime or something, I don't know, whatever. But there's got to be something to
I might go back and re-enroll in teaching to be a graduate.
And come up with an idea. But there needs to be something other than money.
Yep.
The work-life balance post-COVID is way more important than like all the people working from home. They're so much more productive because they don't have to put up with driving to work, wasting time at work when they could just do it at home.
Puts a spotlight on it, doesn't it?
Yeah, so then like these people, they're a lot happier to earn the same amount of money.
Yeah.
Because their conditions are better. Not so much more money. They're still earning the same amount of money. They just get to work from home.
Absolutely. So there you go, team. Just some common situations that come up in teaching on a day-to-day basis. Hope you enjoyed. Any comments, any feedback, let us know. Like always, thanks for listening.